our spotlight game this week. We've got two games. The first one is Balloon Fight for the NES. Balloon Fight is a game that Mandela affected its way into my life. I thought my neighborhood growing up had all of the NES classics. Between all the households, we had Castlevania, we had Turtles, we had Mega Man, Metroid, Zelda, Mario, Ice Climber, Punch Out, Contra, Battletoads, Bomberman, Excite Bike, Hogan's Alley, all of them. But I don't know, like I never heard of Balloon Fight growing up. I think the first time I heard about it was in 2001 when it was in Animal Crossing. And then a few years later, Nintendo started this. They started releasing NES games on the Game Boy Advance, and it was previewed as one, but it only came out in Japan. We didn't even get it. So I don't know. I remembered it being lumped in with classics like the ones I listed there, but I don't know. I'm like, did I miss something? Either way, Balloon Fight for the NES is a deceptively simple arcade style game from Nintendo that challenges players to stay airborne while popping enemy balloons and protecting their own. Using tight, floaty controls, you flap through single screen stages, dodging uh, basically wind blows you around too, and you're dodging things that are trying to pop your balloons. There's hungry fish waiting below. Every encounter becomes a test of timing and positioning, as one misstep can send you drifting helplessly toward danger. The game is often compared to Joust, combines strategic aerial combat with precise movement physics. In addition to the main mode, the Endless Balloon Trip offers a calmer but equally demanding experience, tasking players with navigating hazards for high scores. With its catchy soundtrack by Hirokazu Tanaka. Tanaka is the Nintendo music guy that everybody loves. He's got his little secret song. It's got pick up and play design. Balloon Fight remains a timeless example of how simple mechanics can create lasting fun. So, what did you think of Balloon Fight this week?
I totally forgot about the Animal Crossing one. I'm lacking because I always have to do the update. This is the ninth uh this is the ninth NES game that we've reviewed that is on Animal Crossing. I just clicked out of it real quick. And
There
that
you go.
means that of the ones that are in the base game, we have done all of them besides Clue Land. We've done all the rest of them. So we're almost done. um,
Interesting.
yeah, because we've done Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong Jr. Math, Excite Bite, Golf, Pinball, Tennis. On the island is Wario's Woods and Baseball. So we've done all of them besides Clue Land. And then Nintendo giveaways, Donkey Kong Jr., Donkey Kong 3, Punch Out, Soccer. And then externally, you can get Mario Brothers, Ice Climber, Legend of Zelda. Yeah, so there's only one left overall.
Okay.
What I thought of it, so I can remember playing this game back in the day, and I think playing on an NES Advantage, this is one of the games that's better if you play on an Advantage when you have like those
Interesting.
those arcade style controls. I think it's a little bit better just to have like a big like the floaty mechanics for some reason feels better with like a big floaty button, I think. So
Hmm.
that's that's what I remember of this game. Super fun for for this era. Has very good co-op, and I love that I love that co-op in like the NES era is like you can work together, but you can also just like beat up your friend at the same time if
Yeah.
you choose to do so. You could just do that as well. So, very fun game for me. Um, lots of memories of it. Doesn't rank that high because it's not a game that I feel like I need to revisit that much. Um, Referenced probably as much or more than any other Nintendo game when it comes to like showing up in other games. Um, and yeah,
Yep.
no release date on this one either, which is always strange when we come to a game that doesn't have a release date or any initial reviews that are out there. I don't know, it's just kind of weird when it's like
It's an oldie.
there should be like in somewhere in the history a day that they say, okay, like on this day it hit the shelves,
Yeah.
but it's like no, we actually have no idea. If we look as hard as we can in history, we have no idea what day it came out.
Yeah, that goes all the way up until like the Nintendo 64 era. There's just some games where they just know the month. But when you're all the way back in NES days, like they have the season. They'll be like, "Oh, that came out summer of '88." Like somewhere in those 3 months, you know?
So overall, super fun game. Um, Super fun with co-op. Just a game that I'm kind of over. It's 111 for me. 111,
Yeah.
which is still playable.
I have it in my non-playable section. I'm just not a fan. I know it's a classic and all that, but it's not something I would ever put on to play. I put it all the way down at 175, which is below Tecmo Bowl and above NES Golf. Just not for me. I'll say it that way. I can see it has its audience. I can see it has its supporters. It's just not for me. And then Spotlight game number 2. We paired them together because they are both the Balloon series, the Balloon franchise. Balloon Kid for Game Boy. Balloon Kid on Game Boy, it takes the aerial mechanics of its predecessor, turns them into a charming side scrolling adventure. It was developed and published by Nintendo. The game follows Alice as she floats across varied landscapes to rescue her kidnapped brother and recover stolen balloons. Players guide her through skies, underwater sections, and obstacle-filled environments, mastering momentum and careful movement to avoid hazards and enemies. Expanding on the formula introduced in Balloon Fight, this portable sequel adds a light story, creative level design, and a relaxed pace that suits handheld play. Alternating between balloon powered flight and swimming segments, the game rewards patience and precision while maintaining a whimsical tone. With its catchy music and innovative stages, Balloon Kid stands as a delightful evolution of Nintendo's balloon based gameplay. I
And
like this one better.
I like this one slightly
I'll
better.
say that.
It was brought up a few weeks ago when it was added to the service, but um, it's one of the only released in North America, not in Japan, which is take that, Japan. We got Balloon Kid, you didn't. All you got was the much better Hello Kitty adventure. And I say it's much better. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's the same game, but it is cuter, I would say. So Hello Kitty Adventure release. I think it was like a couple years later. I think, and it released as the same game under Hello Kitty. This is a Yokoi game. Um, I really like the balloon pump up mechanic in this
Hmm.
one. It just adds like another real life element to it, which we know that Yokoi is such an absolute legend. Like pretty much, I mean, create has created so many things in video games that you don't even think about because they just exist. Like just like you think it would just always exist in the world, but no, it was actually made by him.
Hmm.
So that's that part was cool. This is one that I hadn't played before. Certainly not an easy game. One, I'd say I'd have to spend more time on if I were to come back to it. So, how do you feel about it?
I like I said, I liked it. I really am just in a Game Boy mood lately. I like the charm of those original Game Boy days, and I mean, this one didn't blow me away or anything, but it was I played them in order, and this one was an improvement. So I just I don't know, there's just something about it that's a little bit better. Maybe it's just that you're not stuck on a single screen the whole time, and it might just be like something that simple to do it for me. But yeah, I ranked it low, but not as low. I ranked this one at, where was it? Like 10 or something like that. So Spotlight 1, Spotlight 2. Why doesn't it have my ranking? Well, I ranked it somewhere in the hundreds. I'll scroll down and find it. I put it at 102. So that's below the Densetsu no Starfy Game Boy Advance games, and it's above Joe and Mac 2 on Super Nintendo.
I put it just one above at 110, just right above Balloon Fight, Balloon Kid. Definitely an improvement, and I guess overall we skipped over the recommendations. I think NES is good for the history and
Yep.
for the co-op. Game Boy, I don't know. Like, would you realistically recommend the Game Boy one to a certain kind of gamer? No, no, not really.
People who like Balloon Fight who didn't know there was a Game Boy version. That's about
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that would be that'd be very specific, and
Yeah.
and then like I mean, this series is over. I don't know like what like if Nintendo was like, oh yeah, let's make a modern one of these. I don't know which genre they would pick for it, but I'll kind of leave it there, and people can think about it, speculate, or leave us a comment down below